Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to tonight's top stories, let's head outside and take a look. Well, if we can look at anything outside our weather window, and boy, all of us in north central Washington, this was our scenario today. Lots of heavy smoke widespread throughout north central Washington. This is looking at parts of downtown Wenatchee from our Cascadian Sky-Fi Tower camera. But the Cascades were obscured all day long today, and as we look forward through the week, we're going to see some more of this haze as we get you into Tuesday as well. I think Wednesday a little bit smoky before we begin to clear out. That'll be on Thursday. Temperatures about 80 degrees. We're going to stay pretty steady as far as temperatures go. Some breezy conditions Friday, and then another chance for showers as we get into Saturday and Sunday. I'll have your complete weather forecast coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A third wildfire has been added to the fires burning above Lake Wenatchee. Okanogan County firefighters spent about 7 hours Saturday morning extinguishing stubborn haystack fires. And a man was hospitalized early Friday morning after he says a man came through the back door of his home outside of Moses Lake and shot him. But first, our top story tonight, Stevens Pass remains closed in the town of Index under Level 3 Get Out Now evacuation notices today as that Bolt Creek fire continues to grow after first being reported early Saturday morning north of Skycomish. The fire has burned more than 9,000 acres of timber and brush and was reported at 2% contained this morning. Highway 2 has been closed since Saturday morning between Gold Bar and Skycomish, with a Level 2 prepare to evacuate notice in place between Index and Zeke's Drive-In east of Gold Bar. The Snohomish County Sheriff's Office said Sunday that only about 50% of the people in Index under the Get Out Now notices had actually evacuated. The Washington Department of Transportation said the pass is likely to remain closed through at least Monday. The incident management team on that fire said it's expected to spread into inaccessible wilderness areas to the west. A third wildfire has been added to the fires burning above Lake Wenatchee. The Minnow Ridge fire was first reported just before 3 p.m. Friday and had burned 350 acres as of this morning. It's just a few miles from the Irving Peak fire, which has burned more than 3,200 acres, and the White River fire, which has burned about 2,500 acres. Those two fires have been burning since August 11th after being sparked by lightning. The U.S. Forest Service said the cause of the Minnow Ridge fire has not yet been determined. All three fires in areas that are difficult for firefighters to access, and they're likely to burn until seasonal weather changes. Okanogan County firefighters spent about 7 hours on Saturday morning extinguishing stubborn haystack fires. Okanogan County Fire District 6 said they responded about 5:15 a.m. to the Bulky Hill area, that's northeast of Twisp, and that's where they found several haystacks fully involved, with a larger stack about 80 feet away. The fire spread into the brush but was kept in check until state and federal crews arrived. The fire district said the haystacks had to be torn completely apart to reach hot spots. Firefighters from Twisp, Winthrop, Carlton, Mazama, the State Department of Natural Resources, and U.S. Forest Service all responded. A man was hospitalized early Friday morning after he says a man came through the back door of his home in the Larson Community outside Moses Lake and shot him. The Grant County Sheriff's Office said the 31-year-old victim suffered non-life-threatening injuries in that shooting. It happened just before 12:30 a.m. in the 1000 block of Vandenberg Loop. He was transported to Samaritan Healthcare. The man described the shooter as white or Hispanic, 5'7", and wearing a black hoodie and a mask. Anyone with information is asked to call the Grant County Sheriff's Office at 509-762-1160 or send information to crimetips@grantcountywa.gov. Tipsters can remain anonymous. Well, when we come back, the second of two teenagers who broke into a Malaga gun shop and made off with $20,000 worth of firearms has now pleaded guilty. Air quality in parts of our area was in the hazardous level this morning. We'll update you on this afternoon's numbers. Confluence Health has new facilities for patients coming out of surgery at Central Washington Hospital. And the City of Wenatchee and the Chelan County PUD want you to have a say in planned improvements to Riverfront Park. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
I'm John Divis from Wenatchee Dental Arts, and I like to think myself as a comprehensive dentist. We are an office that treats people comprehensively for their dental problems. We do a lot of general dentistry in a broad sense. We don't send everything out. Things that we have the ability to do in the office, we like to keep in the office and under one roof and keep things as complication-free as possible. You can come to one place and have all their dental needs taken care of.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
We got things coming our way that we've never faced before. Under the current conditions, the storm's going to continue to get stronger and stronger. Now's not the time to take a step back. Now's not the time to be soft. Now's the time to drive us in the right direction to protect our communities. The team that surrounds myself is the team to take you into the future.
Welcome back. In another news, the second of two teenagers who broke into a Malaga gun shop and made off with $20,000 worth of firearms has pleaded guilty. The Wenatchee 16-year-old faces a total of 13 months in state and local detention after pleading Thursday to first-degree burglary and 7 counts of firearm theft. Police say the two youths used a shotgun to shoot the lock off the door of the gun shop last April, then smashed display cases to seize an estimated 24 handguns and long guns. Some of those weapons were then distributed to alleged youth gang members in East Wenatchee and used to commit a robbery. The 16-year-old will be sentenced 2 weeks from now. The other youth, age 14, was sentenced to 36 weeks for his guilty plea back in June. Well, much of the state is under smoky skies today, but none worse than right here in the Wenatchee Valley, where Wenatchee, Cashmere, and Leavenworth experienced very unhealthy and hazardous conditions. Leavenworth's air reached hazardous levels at 7 this morning and stayed that way into afternoon. Wenatchee and Cashmere both measured well into very unhealthy territory this morning, and that continued into afternoon for Cashmere. Wenatchee showed slight improvement but was still unhealthy this afternoon. Much of the smoke in the region has been attributed to wildfires burning in northern Washington and southern British Columbia, as well as over the weekend smoke from the 7,600-acre Bolt Creek fire burning near Skykomish that we told you about a little bit earlier. They're all adding to our misery. The City of Wenatchee and Confluence Health has new facilities for patients coming out of surgery at Central Washington Hospital. The post-anesthesia care unit or recovery area has doubled its bed space after a major remodel that was just completed at the end of August. 20 recovery beds are now available to support 12 operating rooms. Patients emerging from surgical procedures remain under care in the PACU until fully recovered from anesthesia. Confluence administrators say the rooms at the PACU can be also utilized as a surgical space for some minor procedures that don't require a full operating theater. Well, the City of Wenatchee and the Chelan County PUD want you to have a say in planned improvements to Riverfront Park. The design of the first phase is underway, and possible plan elements include a splash pad, playground, picnic pavilion, and trail improvements. The city and PUD will hold public meetings tomorrow and Wednesday at Pybus Public Market Boardroom to show off designs and take input from park users. Those meetings take place 4 to 7 p.m. Tuesday and then 7 to 10 a.m. Wednesday. 2 informational booths will also be set up in the park itself along the Apple Capitol Loop Trail. Well, you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
Some thought it would never happen. The Supreme Court taking away a woman's right to choose, a right to privacy that existed for almost 50 years. It's extreme and dangerous. Now some DC politicians want to ban all abortions with no exceptions for rape, incest, or the life of the mother. As a doctor and mother, I am outraged. As your congresswoman, I won't stand for it. I'm Kim Schreier, and I approve this message because this fight is now.
Football, school, cooler temps. It's almost fall. And what better way to celebrate than with the Fall Kickoff Savings Event at Click It RV? We've got to make room for new inventory, which means you'll save up to 30% off with no money down, 90 days to first payment, and lifetime warranties. With the best floor plans and many options under $40,000, there's never been a better time to buy. Visit us today on Frontage Road off I-90 in Moses Lake or go to clickitrv.com.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In tonight's feature story, good news for anglers may also be a bit of good news for the environment. Sockeye salmon returned this season in record numbers to the upper Columbia tributaries. At a Chelan County PUD board meeting last week, PUD fish managers said adult sockeye counts passing Rocky Reach Dam are the best they've been in 30 years, perhaps due to cooler ocean conditions and better food availability in 2021.
Every spring we forecast what we think are going to be the adult returns. And so this past spring, the forecast for sockeye was around 200,000 adults. Well, we ended up getting about 640,000 adults back to Bonneville. And the reason probably for the forecast being so far off is probably due to ocean conditions. We use regression analysis to predict what we think the returns are going to be. And a lot of the predictor variables have included years of poor ocean conditions. So it's great news for adult returns. And so this is just Okanogan, sockeye that are headed up to the Okanogan. And as you can see, it was a lot of fish this year. And so this year at Rocky Reach, our fish counters, they counted a lot of fish. I mean, it wasn't just sockeye, but it was over 1 million fish. And 530,000 sockeye alone, which is a record year since the last 30 years I put on this graph. And for Okanogan sockeye, you can see how the one year it's high returns, the next year it's low returns, high returns, low returns. And one of the hypotheses is that they are so responsive to environmental conditions. So for example, in 2014, we had a big return, but not very many of the adults were able to spawn because that was a year when we had really warm river conditions. And a lot of them died before they were able to spawn. And you can see that as a reflection in the 2017 returns. So we also have rain on snow events that scour out reds that have been already made in the river. Hopefully folks were able to partake in the Lake Wenatchee fishery this year. It was also a record year with 110,000 sockeye at Tumwater Dam, which is amazing. We had another good return year in 2014, but again, that was a really warm year.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a great weekend. Temperatures were down a little bit. It really wasn't a bad weather weekend. Yeah, a little bit hazy, but boy, nothing like we've seen today. By far the worst day that we've had as far as smoke yet this year. And we had that little bit of rain, and we were joking in the newsroom. It went from smelling like smoke outside to now smelling like wet smoke. And we did have some of that, a little bit of rain as we look at downtown Wenatchee, down Wenatchee Avenue. But boy, the Cascades obscured all day long because of that widespread haze. And did it ever keep our temperature down this afternoon? Unofficially, 69 degrees. We thought we might get into the upper 70s to around 80, but all the cloud cover and smoke kept it down. 78 is our normal high right now. 97, wow, a hot one back in 2011. That's our record high. 62 this morning. So as you can see, we just didn't warm up a whole lot today. 54 is our normal low temperature, and 40 our record set back in 1962. Look at that. We actually changed the almanac on precip. It's been since about the end of June since we've done that. 2 100ths today, and that gets us to 5.78 inches for the year. 6:34 sunrise, and sunset is at 7:19. Let's take a look at those Tuesday temperatures. And with the haze, who knows what we're going to do as far as temperatures. We're thinking we're probably going to get lower 80s into the Columbia Basin, Moses Lake and Ephrata 82, 81 for Quincy, and back into the 70s to the west of the basin, 79 for Wenatchee and Eniat, also Chelan, and another warm one for you folks up in Omak. Depending on the haze, you could see 81 degrees tomorrow. Taking a look at what we can expect tonight, widespread haze will continue. Ridge of high pressure off the coast, but we're in a trough right now. Lots of low pressure inside that, anchored by a larger area of low pressure. That's what brought us the shower activity today, and we might see that same scenario tomorrow. We're going to see haze and about a 20% chance of showers. High temperatures, we're hoping anyway, into the upper 70s for your Tuesday. Look how cool it is all over the western United States. For Wednesday, mostly sunny. I think a lot of the haze will kind of scour out as we get into the afternoon Wednesday. High temperatures in the upper 70s, mainly because we are really going to get into a strong westerly flow. So our wind from the west should blow most of that smoke to the east. Thursday's going to be a nice one with high temperatures right around that 80-degree mark. And as we get into the end of the week, then it's going to stay steady as she goes. Maybe a little bit breezy, though, right here in north central Washington. A weak area of low pressure will slide across southern Canada. High temperatures Friday, also around the upper 70s or so. And then things get a little wet as we get into the weekend. An area of low pressure will ride down the backside, or the front side, I should say, of high pressure. And that'll bring us about a 20% chance for showers on Saturday. High temperatures in the upper 70s. And then get ready for some wind as we get you into Sunday. Mostly cloudy skies. Once again, about a 20% chance of showers. Most of that, I think, will be back in the Cascades. High temperatures on Sunday, a little bit cooler in the mid-70s. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast. 60 degrees overnight tonight. Haze and possible showers as we go to Tuesday. For Wednesday, mostly sunny. We'll call it seasonal, about 78 degrees. 80 for your Thursday. As we get to Friday and the end of the week, some breezy conditions in 78, and then showers and especially wind as we get into Sunday. 78 Saturday and 76 your high temperature on Sunday. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Monday to you. What a weekend in sports. Cougars knock off Wisconsin. Washington wins. The Mariners take 2 of 3 from the defending World Series champion Braves. We'll start right there. Seattle squandered a 6-1 lead Sunday, allowing 5 runs in the top of the 9th inning as Atlanta took a 7-6 lead. There had already been 4 home runs in the game heading into the 9th frame, but a packed house at T-Mobile Park would witness 4 more home runs in that final inning.
Swing and a drive. How far's that baby going? My, oh my, off the third deck. A 2-homer game for Harris. Swing drive. Robbie Grossman unloads, and the Braves have taken the lead. I don't believe it.
Wow. Look at Wash. He even gave him the right arm that time. The bad wing. This place can't believe it.
Atlanta with 5 in the 9th with 2 outs.
1-1 from Jansen.
There you go! Left field! We got a tie ball game! Julio! Oh, baby, what a moment! Tie ball game at 7-7. Oh, did he hurt that pitch? Home run number 25 for Julio Rodriguez.
1-1, did you know?
Giddy up! Giddy up! And the Mariners win this ball game! The Mariners beat the Atlanta Braves 2 out of 3. Dino with a home run! Oh, baby! Hey now! 8-7 Seattle!
Dan Wilson, we have just seen something unbelievably special. I mean, unbelievable. Gotta love it. And yeah, Gino, good vibes only. My man. Wow.
By the way, Eugenio Suarez has 5 home runs in his last 4 games. Seattle has the day off today before hosting San Diego tomorrow night. Alex Bregman's grand slam in the 3rd gave Houston a lead it would never give back in a 12-4 win over the Angels. Adolis Garcia and Leody Taveras each homered for Texas as the Rangers helped the Mariners' cause by downing Toronto 4-1. Seattle also got a little assist from Oakland as the A's beat the White Sox 10-3. Mariners moved up to tie Tampa Bay for the top wildcard spot after the Rays lost 2 of 3 to the Yankees. Baltimore dropped to 5.5 games out with a 1-0 loss to Boston. White Sox are 7 games out, while the Twins continued to drop back after falling to Cleveland 4-1. Well, Pepsi Night at Wenatchee Valley Super Oval saw a big turnout of fans as well as competitors in the next to the last weekend of racing. Fans were able to get down on the track following Saturday's heat races and meet their favorite drivers and check out the cars. Then it was main event time for the Plum Perfect Roadrunners, Northwest Vintage Modifieds, and Rockstar Energy B-Mons. I was joined by Caleb Hart with a call here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Brought it back down to the bottom of 1 and 2. You can see him setting up to try the outside. Down the back straightaway. Into corner number 3. Raising with 1 more run. Evans perfectly hits his marks. And Jay Evans gets the win.
I seen a bunch of chaos begin with. Everybody had to sit through all those restarts, and I knew it was going to be havoc when we started. So I was trying to stay tucked in behind the other guys, and just because I knew some of them would fall off and I wouldn't have to battle with as many. But yeah, what a mess to begin with. These cars don't handle very well, and so yeah, on a start like that, yeah, you just kind of hunker down and go. And in a 25-lap race, I was hoping that it opened up a little bit and I can go.
Ironman going to take over second on this lap.
So the gap when Ironman takes over second, 2.1 seconds,
our lead car just lost something. Just lost an engine. Something went awry on our lead car, and now he will head into the pits. Looks like the 22 car, Steve Woods, is done for the night.
Jeff trying the outside on Conwell the last time. At the end, give it to Devin Ironman. Second to Vince Conwell. Third to Cale Cheth.
Yeah, I was very fortunate. Sorry to see Steve fall out there. I enjoy racing with him. It's always fun. But I'll take the win. You know, it's nice. It's great to be here at Wenatchee. I want to thank you guys for televising this stuff. It's always nice to get this out to everybody that can't make it to the track, and thank you for supporting the track.
At a corner number 4, green flag, we go racing. Initial start looking like Mackin and Gooch pretty evenly matched. I wonder if Holiday jumped out of line a little early.
No shame looking inside there. They're
Caution, caution, caution on the racetrack. Gooch did go around, but the yellow was out first. Shane's never been afraid to game it up a little bit and look for every advantage. Into turn one. Holiday leaning on Gooch. He's going to drive up and around. There goes Mitchell. Right place, right time. He should have third, but it is Holiday chasing Knutson once again after the restart, and this time the lap gets in. Looking good at the bottom of the field, forcing Holiday to try to do something different, and Holiday loops it to the outside, going into one. He's got to run on your leader down the back straightaway. Just before the halfway point, lap 35 coming in, new leader Chad Holiday. 1 to go for Holiday. The driver out of Wenatchee, Washington, lines it up down turn 2. He goes into the turn 3. Mitchell, one more big run. It's not to be. Chad Holiday wins. Shane Mitchell 2, Glenn Knutson a strong third.
Honestly, anytime we can come out here and put on a show for you fans, it's worth every penny and every hour that we spend on these cars to get out here and race. I can't thank everybody back in the pits that work on this car, my wife, my family, all my extended family that came over from the coast to watch this race. Can't thank all of them enough. The racetrack, NCWLIFE, Rockstar Energy Drinks for sponsoring our class. They're phenomenal. It's amazing.
2 more big days of racing remain at WVSO, starting with practice this Friday and leading up to the Jerry Burschauer Memorial Pro Late Model 125 Saturday. Featured racing includes the Jerry's Auto Supply Pro Late Models, Plum Perfect Roadrunners, Angel Bail Bonds Bandoleros, and Inex Legends cars. Then on Sunday, it's the new Neil Newberry 125 and Wenatchee Legends races. Featured will be the Northwest Super Late Model Series, Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning Thunder cars, Angel Bail Bonds Bandoleros, and Inex Legends, WVSO.com if you'd like more information on that. Sit back to Friday in prep football. Not a good night for our local 4A schools. For the second week in a row, Eastmont lost by the same score of 14-13, this time to Timberline. Wenatchee blown out by Mount Baker 42-14. Moses Lake held its ground before falling to Camaican 36-29. Other Big 9 play, Davis took Ellensburg to 2 overtimes before falling 6-0. Post Falls edged Sunnyside. West Valley fell at Juneau Douglas 21-14. And Cedro Woolley beat down the Ike Cadet 42-14. We have the 19th version of the Bridges Sportsmanship between Wenatchee and Eastmont coming up Friday live here on the NCWLIFE channel. Join me and Paul Collard for the pregame beginning at 6:30 at Wildcat Stadium. Caribou Trail League quickly. Friday, Cascade took care of Tenasket 42-8. Omak over LaSalle. Chelan shot down Meridian. Ephrata blanked Quincy. And it was Cashmere improving to 2-0 with a big win over Brewster 52-14. Hey, just a reminder, Monday Night Football tonight. Seahawks taking on the Denver Broncos. That's on right now on ABC and ESPN. Lots more sports on our website. Go there. For now, back to this guy. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. Looking forward to that game. And now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. Join me for a Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, which, by the way, is tomorrow. We will have your latest weather forecast. We'll check in on a regular basis on what our air quality is as we work our way through Tuesday. Hopefully, it's going to get a little bit better, but this has become a September tradition around these parts, one I quite frankly can do without. Weather forecasts, news, sports, and all kinds of good fun. Get your day started with this program. We're live and we're local. Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dan. We'll be watching. And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for being with us and have a great night.
Connect with us on Networked as we introduce you to the people and organizations who are leading innovation in the region. Get inspired, engaged, and networked right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCWLIFE channel.